Domenico, I'm Italian, from the Italian Agency for Research, Innovation and Sustainable Economic Development. I'm a biologist by background. I remember it was interesting, I was in Nijmegen, in the Netherlands, in '95, when there was the flooding that Peter Witt just showed in the previous slide. So it was impressive to see that it was part of a historical climate change event. I remember the people that was moved from the house, so to see the picture again was quite impressive. At the time I was doing the PhD in the Netherlands, and I was studying molecular biology of the flower, so how the flower grows, they reproduce. While my benchmate in the laboratory was studying the effect of the molecular biology effect on flooding of plants. So the Dutch guy was studying already at molecular level what happened in the plants when there is flooding. So now it's just a flashback that I had of that days, and they show how the Dutch were really studying the issue of flooding at all levels, from urbanization to molecular biology. So life did bring me to the European Commission for a while, so I've been moved, as I say, from the white lab coat to the white collar. So I became a white collar and started to work on science policy. That makes me now a policy officer in my agency, so I work for the International Relationship Office. And so when I make a presentation, I thought to present my agency and all the interdisciplinarity that my agency can propose for collaboration on studies on climate change. So it was not supposed to be a talk about water. It could be also in the session of energy, for example. But it turns out that there is a lot of a water issue in this presentation, so I hope you will find it interesting in any case. So, let's get started. So, climate change, food crisis, water crisis. The simple part being that there is an increase of population and there is a decrease of land is changing. We are going to realize that it's more complex than what we understand. There is an increase of urbanization, there is a loss of cultivated area, there is increasing population, there is a problem of safety and security. There are differences in how the population is in the world. Population is aging, so this brings also to change in diet. So it's not only about food, but also about the type of food and when you need it. So the issue is much more complicated, let's say complex. This can be shown in a couple of slides. If we look at the world with a map on population, we see how disparate it is from what you see in the land map. You see where most of the people is in the world. But if you look at the same, for example, by age, you see that most of the old people, or not most, a lot of older people is in Europe. Look how big is Europe compared to the total population. Look how big is Japan. But China and India will appear always big, very young people and old people. If you look at young, you see, look how Europe becomes small, Brazil is bigger. Africa that was much smaller for old people is much bigger for young people. They may figure out that this is where the new generation is coming. India is big. States is much smaller than Mexico and Central America, for example. And that's also count for the needs of the world. Energy needs are different in different areas. Africa that needs a lot of energy is also one of the areas where there is still a lot of hunger. Most of the hunger is still there. So, for example, if I think of Africa with the big population of next young generation with the need of energy and the need of food, I don't see a really big picture of this situation. So, at the end of the day, what do we need? We need a lot of things. We need to challenge hunger. We need to address challenge of food and water for the future, health of the aging population, health of the new generation. We need renewable energy. We need smart urbanization, land recession. We need efficiency. We need it worldwide. We need it coordinated. We need it harmonized. It's very difficult, I think, to achieve that. So, we, ENEA, we are an agency, a research agency in Italy. So I'll show you where we are. So this is the world. Italy is here in Europe, and here we are. This is the country that looks like a boots and everybody easily recognizes. Small compared to Brazil, but I mean, I hope the thing will be interesting in any case. And we do have a research center more or less in all territory. We are an average big agency because we have 2,600 people. I saw that in Brazil there are some research centers that are much bigger, but it's a fair size. But I think it's very interesting. We do have some history. Let's say that we were created together with the European Union a few years after, and so we have a 60 years old of history in research and development and technology. What I find very interesting, very appealing, is that we work on training, on technological transfer, on research, on service to the territory, all in the same agency. So it's all in one. And it's in different disciplines that I'm going to explain to you today. Just a few examples. Agriculture and water and food. We are studying, for example, this is an example of biotechnology that we are developing in ENEA, where we are studying plants with increasing nutrients. That's just a model. This is a very visionary project that we are developing with the idea of providing fresh food for the space station. But the knowledge that we are going to have from here will help us to also get better products on land, on the planet. We do have some patents, even patented technologies, so very mature. Very mature technologies on how to recover water, pure water, and high-value molecules from byproducts of our agricultural products and the waste. So that is crazy, because the byproducts, the waste that sometimes was coming from agriculture, that was a problem to get rid of, may even become another value, because you can recover water, you can recover high-value protein molecules that are also interesting for the market. This is a technology that we adapt to Italian production, so olives or milk or artichokes. But it's a very nice example of think globally and act locally, because with this know-how you could adapt to different processes and try to get the value molecule that you may be interested. This is another example. I think 2 days ago in the opening we heard about vertical farms. This is an example of vertical farm that we constructed and we displayed in the World Expo that was this year in Italy. that's a nice proof of concept of how you could approach the problem of urbanized areas, the increase of population and the increase of cultivated land, by having vertical farm that could produce at 0 kilometers fresh vegetables. This small example, I don't know if you see, this is a person, so you can see the scale. This is a small machine, just produce real lettuce, can produce up to 500 bunch of salads every 3 weeks. So think, this is only a small example, but think if you could have a large scale vertical farm in a building, and these, for example, you see windows here, but it's only for display for the people, because this could be even underground, under a building. Think about a building that is in the cellar. You have a vertical farm, on the roof you have a renewable energy production, and then you have a 0 kilometers production with the low energy consumption and with low water utilization, with the complete recovery of the waste, because you can reuse it. Let's go more about the climate. We do have expertise in our agency about modeling on climate change, studies about what will be the future temperature of the Mediterranean. By the way, we do have experience. We have a lot of data from the Mediterranean, but coming back from the first speech, it would be very interesting to learn how to use our algorithm in other areas of the planet, like in Brazil. We did produce an atlas of wave energy on the Mediterranean, but from this model, we also get tools. We produce real tools. Come on. The video that does not start is a nightmare of every presentation, of course. I'm sorry, but that's really a video. This was supposed to show you a pendulum that we invented. It's a pendulum that will float. I don't know, it's not going. It's not going, unfortunately. Well, the idea was very similar to this drawing that you have here. That is a small nutshell that can float on the sea, and inside it as a pendulum. The pendulum will vibrate and accumulate energy. So it's an energy producer, then can go into the grid and give you electricity. Small structure like this, like a buoy, could be placed on the sea coast. And with this idea of oscillation, will accumulate energy and give it to the grid. It's like a nutshell. You may think about arrays of this buoy on a coast, and even you can think of making sea barriers. I mean, now to stop erosion, we are using sea barriers. But why don't we use sea barriers that can also produce energy? No? Why not? I mean, once you need to put something in the water, let's put in something that will be moved by the water, so we reduce the strength of the water of the sea, and meanwhile you get electricity. Why not? Again, also on solar radiation we have a big expertise. Then another us to make models like the atlas of sun radiation in Italy, but also to make tools, I mean real life tools. So this is, for example, our prototype of solar concentration energy that is then be taken by ENEA, that is our electric company, that is trying to make a real production plan of energy. So this is a very, very efficient system that we develop in Italy. Solar concentration is popular also in Spain, also American are working a lot, so it's a lot about performance. And one of the interesting byproducts of this system is that it produces fresh water. It's the salt water during the process. So it happens that with this implant you may have electricity and fresh water together, for example. So the list may continue, but I will not go because the agency is big, it is interdisciplinary, but we study renewable energy sources, and this is a little bit of a list of the main area. We study, let's say, climate service, so modeling, we work on the field and in the modeling, so we do both. We even are the host of the Italian Antarctica and Polar Area Expedition, so the Italian expedition in Antarctica is managed by our agency. Electric, safety health, energy efficient, nuclear, new technologies. These are just opening a little bit because when you say new technology is a little bit vague, so I just wanted to explain. And coming back to the first slide about, I want just to focus this part about the urbanized area because you may have heard yesterday Mauro Annunziato talking about small cities smart cities in the session, in the morning session. So the smart cities concept that indeed is influenced by all the other things, but let's take this like main issue of smart city concept. And that was one of the studies that yesterday was shown by Mauro Annunziato, the idea that so far the study has been done on better components, but there is still a lot of space to have efficiency on system organization on the city. And that this should be done at different scales, from home, domotic, street, to the whole country. This was something of yesterday. So I would like just to mention that yesterday, Cidades Urbanas Sassao was Mauro, where this afternoon Fabio Musmesci will talk about circular economy and waste management. So these are two other issues that are very important, very related to climate change. At the end of the day, I show you a lot of technological tools and expertise, but what is the tools without policy? You heard in the two previous presentations that at the end of the day was all about choice. We ENEA, we are in different networks, political and technical networks. We're almost everywhere, I would say. For example, we are the designated national entity for Italy that works for the Climate Technology Center and Network of the United Nations. In short, these designated national entities are the ones that feed these support technical board that gives you advice for the COP. For the COP you have been heard a couple of times, 2, 3 times, many times in those days. That is in a month. Is in a month in Paris, France. So I would like to give you some conclusion. My idea was to present our agency as a potential partner for collaboration with Brazil. We are interdisciplinary, we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of technology to propose and to make it in collaboration. Yes, at the end of the day, what I understand is that there are a lot of technology ready for climate change, but it's essential that beside the technology, a common understanding and common policy are decided and implemented. So do it right, and do it right now, if I get your message. Okay, thank you very much.